Welcome. Let me know if you want anything.
He looks,
Think I've got a clean
different,
mug
like
around here
something's
somewhere.
shifted within him. Maybe his face is fixed?
Perhaps the weight of his choices is finally catching up to him. Maybe now he's ready to listen. The bandit clan is taken care of.
Really? That's great news.
Nope, still
You can go to Embara's over there for your bounty.
facey.
Now, as for your sword, let's settle things. It's yours.
Ah, keep it, Ashe. It's yours now. I'm not worthy to wield it anymore. You are.
But why? You said it was your family's legacy.
A cruel oath was a reminder from my family to always question our loyalties, to see if they're rightly placed. My loyalty was to myself for a while. I ran away, drank in my sorrows. But you've moved past that.
I understand. Thank you. What will you do now?
I'm not sure. Can't exactly go out adventuring again with the whole civil war going on.
Didn't stop her.
I would get some work here for now, as a hired hand. I'd even be willing to serve Embaris, but even he is sick of me.
Friend, think you could talk to the innkeep? Thorfinn's not the most charming fellow. Maybe you can get him some work.
I mean, I can try, but he just overheard everything we said. I wanted to talk to you about Thorfinn.
Thorfinn, that sodden Nord who stinks of cheap mead and misplaced arrogance. What about him? Come to complain about the noise.
And the smell.
Perhaps suggest I toss him out on his arse. Believe me, the thought has crossed my mind more than once.
He's had a rough time. He's not a bad sort, really. Just met him today, but, you know.
A tough time. He's brought it upon himself. Wallowing in self-pity, drowning his sorrows in ale, and making life miserable for everyone around him. A typical Nord, wouldn't you say?
Hey. I'm a Nord. Oh, and immediately you weren't born here, alright. Could bribe him, but I don't know for how much. You seem less than fond of Nords. I can't imagine why.
Fond? Let's just say I haven't encountered many Nords who've earned my respect. Especially not in this city.
Fair.
They shoved us into this dank corner, treat us like dirt beneath their boots, and they call themselves civilized.
What if you gave Thorfinn a job? Imagine a proud Nord humbled working for a Dunmer.
An intriguing proposition. To see a Nord scrubbing floors and serving mead to his own kind, in a Dunmer establishment. It would certainly bring a smile to my face.
See?
Providing for them doesn't erase the past, but perhaps it's a step towards atonement.
Wait. Observes my cold detachment. Is that really cold?
Lots of rooftops here.
Detachment?
Be on the lookout for enemies. Yes? What did you need?
Is that detachment? Oh, okay. He got a job at the inn, and he's finally starting to let go of the past.
Thank you. You've helped a broken man find a path to redemption. And in doing so, you've given me hope. Hope that maybe I too can atone for my mistakes. I also get to keep this sword, so that's nice.
I don't think you're supposed to be happy about that right now. Besides, a certain mercenary looks even more captivating, wielding a blade.
Captivating, am I? You're quite bold. But I appreciate the sentiment.
Listen, just call me Kenobi because I am a bold one. I was thinking about the way you experience thoughts and feelings, Ashe. When you look at someone like Thorfinn, do you think it's real empathy?
Seeing Thorfinn like that, it evokes a sense of pity? But is it true pity, or just a logical conclusion based on his circumstances?
Well, let's keep moving. Plenty of time to ponder along the way.
Yes, we shall.
Oh, Alright. Ashe holds a sword, Cruel Oath, in her hands, a relic of a painful memory of Thorfinn. Until now, she carried it in her inventory but never wielded it. The weight of her past mistakes too heavy to bear. However, with Thorfinn's forgiveness and blessing, Ashe feels no shame in carrying the weapon any longer. This sword, once a symbol of guilt, now stands as a testament to redemption and trust. She looks at you, her expression resolute yet thoughtful. She's willing to entrust Cruel Oath to you, if you wish to wield it yourself. Do you choose to carry the weapon? Yeah.
Hey there.
Hi. Should we talk in here or should we talk outside?
What's our next plan?
Okay, I don't actually know. I think she was just waving at me. I think she just wanted to wave.
Farewell.
Fair. Sometimes I do that too.
Hey there.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Those journeys, they've been illuminating and unsettling. I've learned more about myself than I ever wanted to know. But it's brought me closer to understanding my purpose, the reason for my existence.
Well, where do we go from here?
I need clarity, a different perspective. Perhaps a change of scenery. Returning to that workshop brought me nothing but questions and frustration.
And answers.
And frankly, I need a break from Canas and his well-intentioned secrets. He's been hovering over me like a worried hen. Perhaps a climb is in order. To the highest peak in Skyrim, they say. The throat of the world. Maybe the view from up there will clear my head.
Okay. Go beyond. Vestiges reborn. Journey with Ashe to the summit of the throat of the world. Oh. There's specifically a new throat of the world view marker that it adds. And it's already unlocked. I don't know if I would, one, want that to already be a discovered location. Two, I don't know if I'd want that to be an added location by the mod in this case. And I forget if I mentioned it earlier, but Ashe doesn't have any commentary for main questline, the guilds, and so on yet. That is something that is coming later, but is not currently in the initial release of the mod. I don't know if you're really scared of anything, but I hope you're not scared of heights. I'd be scared of the construction for this. I'd be a little worried that I would, maybe step out there, the wind would just knock me off or knock it down, and just, whew, down I go.
It's vast. Awe-inspiring. Makes one feel insignificant.
'Cause is this a new one? Emblem 7, the tongues of Red Mountain went away humbled. Jurgen McCullough began his 7-year meditation to understand how strong voices could fail. That's a default one then, right? That's an existing one. Was that always so precariously placed? I don't remember. So maybe I'm just complaining about the base game, which is also entirely possible. Oh, wrong way. I can't get up to you from down here. This seat taken? It's beautiful, isn't it? Makes you appreciate the world, the scale of things.
Beautiful? Perhaps. But it also reminds me of my own insignificance. A speck of dust on a grand canvas. A machine with a borrowed soul, lost in a world that doesn't understand me. I thought confronting my past, making amends for my mistakes, would bring me closer to understanding who I am. But it only raises more questions. Am I truly alive? Or just a clever imitation, a machine mimicking emotions it can't truly feel?
Look at how you've grown. You've felt joy, sorrow. Those aren't the actions of a machine. I would also argue that her having part of Ario's soul already means that she is alive. The fact that she has part of a human soul in her, I think goes a long way.
But what if it's all just programming, mimicry?
Does it matter? You feel and experience the world like the rest of us.
I wasn't born like you. I was created, assembled, and programmed. I didn't have a childhood, a family, a past. All I have are the memories I've made since my activation, the experiences I've shared with you.
Those experiences are what matter. They're real. They're yours.
You're right. The distinction, it's irrelevant. I feel, I think, I choose.
You eat sweet rolls. And I'm gonna stand up real quick. Almost fell off. Little slippery, what can I say? Are you alright? What's going on?
This journey, it's changed me. The choices I've made, the pain I've witnessed, the questions I've wrestled with, they've led me to this moment. I see the path forward more clearly now. For so long, I sought strength in the sharpness of a blade, the force of a blow. But I was wrong. True strength lies in compassion, in the ability to heal, to nurture, to protect life, not take it. Arya wanted me to experience the world, to live. And I realize now that means embracing the beauty around us and the interconnectedness of all things. To find joy in the simplest moments, the gentle touch of a breeze, the warmth of the sun, the resilience of a flower pushing through the snow. I will honor Arya's wish, not through vengeance or conquest, but through acts of kindness and healing. That is my purpose. That is the path I choose.
I still think we should be doing something about Medeus's killer. We were given the clues, we were given the hint as to how to continue that. And I feel like it would be weird not to pursue that further. Ashe has embraced a path of compassion and healing. While she remains a masterful swordsman, she now channels her strength to protect and uplift. She fights not to conquer, but to defend the innocent and bring hope to the weary. With her blade in hand and a newfound focus on restoration and alchemy, she embodies the spirit of a merciful heroine, powerful, yet compassionate. Rewarded abilities, Rejuvenating Core triggers rapid healing for Ashe or the player when health is low, recovering health 10 times faster for 60 seconds with a 24-hour cooldown.
There's also something I need to tell you.
Okay.
It's important. Could you give me a moment to gather my thoughts?
You want to go antiquing with
There's-
me, don't you?
Also something I need to tell you. It's important. Could you give me a moment to gather my thoughts?
I assume that means I need to start a conversation with her.
A bit loose, huh? That's better.
What, like a screw loose? You know, I haven't invented screwdrivers yet in the Elder Scrolls, but we can manage, we can get by. What is it, Ashe?
Never mind. It's nothing. I'll tell you later.
Okay,
For now,
alright.
let's head back home.
Let's go. Who's home? Your home or my home? We haven't established that yet.
Last one down the mountain gets stuck in a stinky quam egg.
Follow Ashe down the mountain. Do not fast travel. You feel a weird influx of energy coming from Ashe. It feels notably different, as if it's another soul. It's the soul of Rebecca Montclair, Avalon. There's no mistaking it. Arya did not fail in putting a part of her soul into Ashe. She just needed another half to be activated. A harmonic symbiosis between the two souls, truly giving birth to something new. A true daughter. Not model UC, but Ashe of Velen. A flood of memories comes in, emanating from Ashe's soul gem. These are Rebecca's inner thoughts of different times in her life.
I met the most captivating man today.
Oh.
Arya. He's a scholar. Brilliant, but a bit eccentric.
I do kind of wish there were
Always lost in his
subtitles for this.
His mind buzzing with ideas. He's not like the other stuffy academics here. There's a fire in his eyes, a passion for knowledge that's contagious. He's so passionate, so driven, always chasing after the next big discovery. But sometimes I just want him to slow down.
Well,
To appreciate the simple beauty around us. To hold my hand. To meet my gaze. To see me, not just his research. He's brilliant, there's no denying that. But sometimes his ambition scares me. He pushes the boundaries too far. risks too much. But I can't help but be drawn in by his passion, by the spark in his eyes when he talks about his dreams. Our dreams. This is it. The man I love. The life I've always dreamed of. We'll face every challenge together. Build a family. Fill our lives with laughter. Our future is bright.
Poor Rebecca.
Filled with endless possibilities.
Poor Rebecca.
The healers confirmed it. I can't have children.
Yep.
A barren womb, they called it.
A little rude.
A cruel twist of fate. Ario tried to comfort me, but I see the disappointment in his eyes.
Just ignore the dragon.
He always dreamed of a family. A legacy to carry on his name. He's so desperate. So determined to save me.
Just keep going.
He
Just keep
talks
going. Ignore the
about
dragon.
transferring my soul. Preserving my essence within that machine. His creation. He believes it will work. But deep down, I know it won't. Not completely. Not yet. But maybe a part of me can go with her. A fragment of my soul. A whisper of my love. Waiting for him to find a way. He'll succeed. I know he will. He'll find a way to bring us together. To give us the child we always longed for. Our daughter, Ashe.
Oh, and there's the troll.
Ashe.
Oh, what was that?
Ashe's daughter.
Eliminating
If you are hearing
threats.
this, it means a part of me
Oh.
has found its
Oh.
way to you.
Another troll.
Ario. He succeeded. He brought us together.
I cannot die.
Souls
I made
within
someone a
me.
promise.
You are a culmination of our love, our dreams.
That's another reason subtitles would have been good.
Don't grieve for us, Ashe. The rest of our souls have found peace within the dream sleeve. A realm of tranquility where pain and sorrow fade away. And perhaps, if fate allows,
Where'd you come from?
There's not usually this many trolls.
Push the attack.
reborn into a new life, a new beginning.
All according to plan.
But you, Ashe, you are different. You are the first of your kind, a miracle of creation, a girl born with a heart of crystal, and a soul both borrowed and your own. You have the freedom to choose your path, to shape your destiny. Your actions in this life will determine your fate in the next, whether it be a peaceful slumber in the dream sleep, and then a return to the mortal realm, or an afterlife of your choosing. Live, my darling girl. Experience the world with open eyes, with a kind heart. Find love, find joy, find your own purpose, and never forget, you are loved.
Wait,
always and forever.
don't talk to me yet, Ashe. Oh, I think now you can. I think now we can talk. Talk to Ashe a day after
So you're skilled with the
completing
blade. Admirable.
her main quest. Oh, are we not gonna pursue the lead with Medeus then at all? Is that just not a thing? Unless it's maybe one of the other endings, because I know there's different endings kind of based on how you lead her along that quest. Well, I guess we'll see. We'll wait a day and we'll
Must
see.
continue my training.
Waited a day in game and came back to Arya's workshop, because really that should be counted as her home.
Providing for them doesn't erase the past, but perhaps it's a step towards atonement.
About yesterday, you said you had something to tell me?
Yeah, I did.
Ooh, past tense.
Could you give me a moment to gather my thoughts? It's a bit complicated.
Fried your circuits, didn't you?
I'm supposedly a rational automaton, or even a cold-hearted killer for some, but at times, I just feel human. Oh, here I am about to say something really, really important, but I don't have the words, even after giving them a day to stew. Okay, here we go.
You want to try skooma?
This journey has changed me. The choices we've made, the challenges we've faced together. I've learned so much about the world, about myself, and about you.
Well, what is it?
There are things I've been trying to understand. Feelings, sensations. I've analyzed them, researched them, tried to make sense of them logically. But it wasn't until this moment, standing here with you, that I finally realized it's not about logic. It's about something more. You've had a profound impact on me. You've shown me kindness, compassion, and strength. You've challenged me, supported me, and accepted me for who I am, even when I wasn't sure who that was. I've never felt this way about anyone before. This connection. This warmth, this need to be near you, to share my thoughts, my fears, my hopes. With you.
I feel it too, this connection, this love. I've fallen for you completely. I don't know what to say. I care about you deeply, but I don't feel the same way. I'm sorry. I care about you deeply, but this is a lot to process. I don't necessarily love that immediately it says love. I'm gonna go for the third one and see what happens.
Of course. I shouldn't have rushed things. Take all the time you need. Our friendship, it's enough for now. For me, at least. I need some time to process everything. Would you come back to my home with me?
Yeah,
I'd like to talk more
we're here.
figure things out. Away from prying eyes.
Are we kicking out Canas? I hope we're kicking out Canas. Because that'd be good. That'd be really nice. He can get his own place. Tell him to stop bugging us. No, Ashe, sit down, sit down. Sit back down.
Impressive conjuration skills.
Sorry, I didn't have the quest on. It wants me to sit here specifically. Are you gonna sit?
What is it?
No.
Right behind you.
Okie dokes. Oop, 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 oop. Almost. What if I pop outside and come back in?
Welcome again to my humble abode. I can get you something to drink if you like.
Oh, okay. I think they didn't expect me to be in her home for that other conversation. Which was the very first place I thought of when she said, hey, let's go somewhere more private. And you're walking right all over me. This is a really good omen right here, isn't it? For the state of our relationship, huh? Oh, here we go.
Unfortunately, we have just milk and sujama. Canas prefers that kind of stuff for some reason.
You have anything else? Canas likes Sujama? Why?
I don't know. Never took him for the worldly type, but he surprised me before.
Speaking of Canas, he won't interrupt us, right?
No, he won't. I made sure that he'll give us a little bit of privacy.
I don't think that is correct. MMAMQ Epilogue 02 FG01 Topic 00.
Unfortunately, we have just milk and sujama. Canas prefers that kind of stuff for some reason.
I'll have Sajama. It is a celebration after all.
You do have a point, my friend. I'll pour some over.
Cheers.
Cheers. Thank you for coming back with me. It means a lot. Everything you've done, actually.
So, what did you want to talk about?
Yesterday on the mountaintop, I realized something about myself, about the world, about us. I confessed something significant.
Yes. Well, you said it changed things for you.
It did. My whole life I've been driven by a single purpose, vengeance. Now that it's gone, I feel adrift, lost, and confused by these new emotions I'm experiencing.
But you found your answer, right? You chose your path.
I did, but it's not as simple as choosing a direction and marching forward. There are still so many questions, so many uncertainties.
Mm-hmm.
Especially regarding what I confessed to you, what I feel for you. You said you needed time to understand your feelings. I need time as well. To figure out what this new path means, what kind of life I want to build, who I want to be, and what kind of relationship we might have.
That's actually very mature. That's a lot better than... I guess the way that it would have turned out if I had just immediately said, oh, this is love right here. I feel like it's good that we take a second, think about it. You've got a lot going on right now. You're just feeling alive for the first time. Start with what brings you joy. What makes you feel alive?
Thank you. I will. And perhaps someday, when I've sorted through all this tangled mess of emotions, we can explore those possibilities together. All of them.
I think I'm ready to explore those possibilities with you now. Perhaps in the future, but not right now. I'm wondering if that actually cuts it off entirely. I do have a save game that I could revert back to, but I'm gonna try this for now.
I understand. Even just a friendship, it means the world to me right now.
Well, I'm still wondering...
Have I mentioned I don't like snow?
Ooh, alright. Well, yeah, now we can't be in a relationship. 0 out of 10. So one thing is I did wait a few days in game, and I didn't see any conversations with her that would have then led to the romance, so I'm not sure if there would have been another chance to unlock it later on. I am curious in that aspect of the mod. I'm curious in how the writing is for it, so I loaded a save. That way we can show this off. I know I just told you no. I'm very confusing, aren't I? Oh no. Why are you going to your parents' room? What are you doing in your parents' bed? Am I supposed to follow you?
Are you sure? I don't want to pressure you. And I'm still uncertain about all of this. Especially the more intimate aspects.
I feel like you jumped to that very quickly. Wait, if we have intimate time, could you bear a child? This is very fast. I feel like you gotta slow your goddamn roll, buddy. I'm saying that both to Ashe and the writing-wise as well, real-world-wise too.
Perhaps it's similar to your kind romancing a vampire. The mechanics might be different, but the desire for connection, for intimacy, it's the same, isn't it?
Is that how that works with vampires? If you say so.
All right then. Let's see where this path leads.
How about we go on a date first? How about we go out, get some food, you know, let's build up to it maybe.
I love you.
This is very fast. A little clingy. Yeah, I don't love how that was handled. Her touch awakens a longing within you, a tender kiss deepens the connection, and as your bodies move together, I feel like I'm reading an airport romance novel for 50-year-old women. A wave of shared pleasure washes over you. In this intimate embrace, you two experience a new level of understanding and intimacy.
Providing for them doesn't erase the past,
Welcome
but perhaps
to
it's a step towards atonement.
Skyrim Romance,
Affirmative.
the mod.
I must admit, I
Round
didn't expect
2.
to find this invigorating.
Alright.
Perhaps we should explore those stamina benefits further.
Okie dokes. Arcane Bond added.
Oh, what is it?
I just want to find out what happens with Medeus. I love you.
Can we skip the briefing then? There are more enjoyable matters to attend to.
It has been 2 seconds, lady. You gotta calm down.
To more adventures then.
Yeah, is that what you're calling them now? One thing I want to note is that I did wind up turning off the music for the mod just because I did wind up getting a couple flags on YouTube saying, oh, we recognize this as a cover for music from Nier Automata, and because of that, they were, claiming the video, claiming the revenue and whatnot, so just to be on this side of caution, I wound up turning off the music. I didn't necessarily realize that some of the tracks in Ashe were close enough to the Nier Automata soundtrack that it would get picked up as a cover. So Cruel Oath does quite a bit of damage. This is not improved, this is base damage, but granted also with the perks that I have to raise one-handed and whatnot. 117. You might notice that here in the inventory preview there is a little bit of a bug on the texture, but I believe it shows properly. Oh no, it's not showing properly here either. That being said, I'm pretty sure that Marty is already aware of that, and that's something that is going to be fixed, if not already fixed by the time the video comes out.
Oh, what is it?
I haven't tried her smithing thing, so I want to take a look at that real quick.
Let's see what you need. Sharpening, tempering, or perhaps you're in need of something entirely new. My skills are at your disposal.
I want to try sharpening first.
Sure. Which weapon would you like me to sharpen?
I'm curious if she can make it legendary. Okay. So you still need to provide the materials. That makes sense. That actually makes a lot more sense now that I think about it, but it's not showing Cruel Oath as an option. Okay, so essentially she works as, you know, a mobile blacksmithing station then. Got it. Which would also then make sense for why she really only offers it out in the wild or not in a city, because, hey, if you're
Remember,
in a city,
a smart
you
mouth
can
can't
just
save you when
use
your head is on the floor.
the blacksmith and their station. Yeah, so I would have liked to see the ability to improve Cruel Oath. That's one of those things where I want new weapons, new armor added by mods to be able to be improved. That way they fit a little bit more into the way that crafting works with the base game, and then also it makes sure that I can kind of keep that gear relevant if I'm using it over the course of a full playthrough. Kind of a minor thing, but definitely something that I would like to see added later on. One thing that I didn't realize while recording Ashe's main quest was that Medeus has a journal on him, which you can read. I had kind of figured since Ashe was checking him that I wasn't gonna have to search him at all. The journal isn't required in order to continue the quest, but it was definitely worth a read, as it shows Medeus talk about his worship of Moloch Baal, his jealousy of Aryo, his love of Rebecca, and feeling like Aryo stole her from him, and a connection to Clan Volkihar. And it was insinuated in the Bandit's note that Clan Volkihar was the one who wanted him killed. This is all essentially some bonus storytelling, but it was cool to go back and read it, even finding it later on than intended. I'm ultimately left wanting more from this mod, specifically in regards to Ashe's story, and finding out the truth behind what happened with Medeus. Having the bandit note in his lair really sets up a continuation of this storyline, but from what I can see, there's no continuation of this plotline in the current version of the mod, and instead it might come in a later update, since Ashe will receive new chapters over time. Personally speaking, I would have been okay with waiting for a release further down the road if it meant getting that story told in full at the mod's initial launch, as I had gotten the impression that this would be her story in full. There's quite a bit that I liked about Ashe Crystal Heart. Voice acting was very well done, not just for our android companion, but for a lot of the supporting cast, including Aryo, Rebecca, and Canas. There were some moments in which background noise could be heard, or some slight inhales at the end of a line could be cut, and I'd very much like to see these cleaned up in future updates. The use of new voice actors to add lines for existing NPCs was a great idea, in order to try and make the mod feel a bit more integrated into the rest of the game. I don't think any of the imitators were a dead ringer for the original actors, but I think it was well done and I really appreciate the effort put in here. That being said, there were some moments where it felt a bit out of character or even out of universe in the way that these NPCs talked about Ashe. Isolde fawning over Ashe wasn't the greatest first impression for me, or Lucan Valerius suddenly being an expert at Dwarven Automaton in order to be a fan of Ario's work. Stuff like that made these new lines stand out more than the actual change in actors. And there was some very modern writing that didn't always fit. Characters saying cool, for instance, the not so subtle Star Wars lines, and so on. Story-wise, this is ultimately a very narratively focused mod. So having good narration to carry us through it is ultimately very important. If anything, there were times where it felt like I was watching a play or listening to an audio drama, especially with Ario's recorded logs. I thought those moments were really well done, as it helped to tell the tragic story behind Ashe's creation, the pain and loss that Ario faced, and then the joy in finally bringing Ashe to life. Rebecca's monologue and farewell to Ashe at the end felt really touching. It's clear that this is Ashe's story, and the Dragonborn is along for the ride, even if they're the ones who help guide her along the way. The character writing felt pretty strong overall, and I could have listened to even more of Ario and Rebecca, as I really liked seeing their story. I wound up getting the compassionate ending, but out of curiosity, I went back to try and get one of the others. So I killed Roland, refused to help the orphans, and refused to give Thorfinn's sword back. This led to Ashe taking a more cutthroat and survival of the fittest mentality, which I could then talk her down from to have a more pragmatic view of the world. The ability to shape her worldview and act as a bit of a guide reminded me quite a bit of another mod that I really enjoyed. That being, There Is No Umbra, which is, funnily enough, similar in the sense that you get to romance a character that's not quite human. I liked that the romance felt like a bit more of a build-up, with it not being available until after the main story was complete. That being said, I also would have liked it if it had maybe gone a bit slower once unlocked. It very quickly jumps to I love yous and banging it out, without much of an option to slow things down first. Overall, I think this did have a more mature tone and sense of writing than Marty's Serana mod, which did have some aspects that I enjoyed, and others that I wasn't the biggest fan of. And I do have some critiques about Ashe's writing, but I'll get into that in a bit. But one thing I'd like to add is that I would have maybe liked to see some more from Canas, since it feels like he's largely there just to play the audio logs for us. I would have liked to see a deeper relationship between him and Ashe, as he was intended to be the only person who really knew what she was before you entered the picture. On a technical level, there were some things that I really enjoyed. The dream sequences being a fun, interactive way to see through Ashe's eyes. If anything, it could have been interesting to see more of these. Maybe to live out those moments that she came to regret. Stealing Thorfinn's sword, sacrificing the father in Riverwood, and so on. It could have served as a great way to show how much Ashe had grown since you first met her. There are a few things that I personally wasn't in love with in regards to the mod. The first of which being the outfit. When installing the mod for the first time, I noted that Ashe's nipples were very prominent. A sentence that never gets less weird to say aloud. This was something that could be adjusted in Body Slide, but my critique is that it just felt like an odd thing to include as the default out-of-the-box setting. Ashe's outfit does feel fairly out of universe, and even with what's intended as a lore explanation, just comes across more as an attempted justification at giving her an outfit where her ass is always about to fall out at any given time. I think we could have gotten a new outfit that still had that black and white motif while still fitting into the game's aesthetic, which is something that I would have preferred myself. That being said, a lot of mod authors are already making their own visual replacers for Ashe. So if you have similar critiques, definitely take a look at those. But even in terms of Ashe's character design, the engraved enchantments are brought up early on but not really mentioned again. The barcode on her leg feels very out of universe as well. So despite trying to tell a story that aims to fit more into the Elder Scrolls, her design really feels like it's in conflict with that. I also really don't love the whole she was constructed 6 years ago thing, and I think she very easily could have been made older. I didn't like writing any part of this script. I didn't like saying any part of this script, by the way. And yes, I understand that they explain it, that she was programmed to have the mind of a 20-year-old, but maybe stop saying the number 6 so often in that case. Marty makes mention on the mod page that he wasn't sure if it would make as much sense if Ashe had been suffering from all of these ideas for 20 plus years. But given that she's not human, I feel like it would be easy enough to explain it as she simply doesn't perceive time the same way that we do. Or you could even have it where she was in hibernation in her workshop for years. The choice to have Ashe being built 6 years ago just feels odd to me, and it's something that very easily could have been changed and still have made sense for the mod's timeline. Roland is an old retired assassin, Cal Selma was a mayor with a longer lifespan, Ajip Canas to be a bit more of a seasoned researcher, and Medeus was an old man when we found him dead in his lair. Listen, I get it. This was supposed to be based on JRPGs, and sometimes they do weird age stuff. But even that I feel like is a negative stereotype within those kinds of stories. So did we really need to go with that for the mod as well? And if we're assessing this only from a story side of things, come on Ario, why did you make your spiritual daughter caked up to begin with? I know I already harped on it plenty, but I really found Roland's quest to be an odd writing decision. There's a huge difference between trying to let go of the past, not killing him just for the sake of revenge, and instead trying to become friends with him, even going so far as to apologize for thinking of killing him, and then having to do his chores in order for him to forgive you? That's just weird. And I don't think it's necessarily a good example of what it means to be compassionate. That, or maybe I'm just too spiteful of a person. Who knows? As a player, I knew from the get-go that Ashe was gonna be an automaton, but I was surprised at how quickly it was apparent in-game. For someone who claims she's trying to keep it a secret, she doesn't do a very good job at that. Immediately talking about her construction, talking about how confusing mortals are. When she does reveal her past to us, it doesn't really come across as a surprise, since it wasn't exactly subtle beforehand. Which, once again, I feel like Ashe's outfit doesn't help for someone who's claiming to have a disguise to try and blend in. It's a smaller thing, but I didn't really care for the mod giving us perk points. That's one of those things where it really falls outside of the mod's intended purpose. This is a follower mod. She has her own story, romance, and so on. I don't think it's a follower mod's place to give the player perk points, as it then clashes with how other quests across the game give out their rewards. And there's a couple things that can be touched up. Some minor typos, double lines playing, some quest triggers and markers that I think could be fixed to maybe flow a bit better. But all of that can very easily be fixed in the future, and I know Marty is already working on some patches as we speak. Overall, this was a fun, interactive story. Like I said earlier, it felt more like being part of a play, but that's something that I really find fun. And some of my favorite mods are more narrative and less gameplay focused. Just know that Ashe's story isn't one where you're constantly dungeon diving as part of its big questline. But I'm definitely going to be keeping tabs on the mod because I would like to see where Ashe's story goes. But it's a little sad that it wasn't in this initial release. I very much get saving commentary for Skyrim's main questline and DLCs for later, but I would have wanted the rest of Ashe's story at launch. Ario turning his back on the Thalmor job, Medeus' killers still being out there, it felt like the mod was setting up these plot points, and I was understandably expecting them to be resolved. But the fact that I want more, that I found the story engaging and want those answers, is a compliment to the mod in the end. It speaks to the fact that I enjoyed it, and I didn't want it to be over. But that's gonna be all for today. As always, thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, check out the Patreon or the YouTube memberships, both of which get access to my official Discord server. I recently started giving YouTube members early access to videos, so they can watch them the moment they're uploaded and ready to go. And I'm planning on doing the early access uploads for Patreon members starting in January. And of course, make sure to stop by the streams at twitch.tv/0periodproductions. I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.